Hi, I'm Julia Piquet, and welcome to Motorsport Report. In today's episode, we are joined by our special guest, Motorsport Network's James Allen, as we take a look at the latest driver to make his F1 debut, replacing Toro Rosso's Pierre Gasly at this weekend's Austin Grand Prix. Why have Toro Rosso picked Brendon Hartley to replace Pierre Gasly at the US Grand Prix this weekend?
That's a very good question. I mean, he was part of a young driver program for many years, and he got dropped on several occasions along the way as his single-seater career kind of petered out, and obviously he's found himself now a career in Porsche, in sports cars. He's won the Le Mans 24 Hours this year. He's won the World Sports Car Championship. It's a nice story in terms of bringing him into Formula One, a bit like we had Andre Lotterer a few years ago, the Audi driver. And, you know, just in the back of people's minds, there is a feeling that Porsche are definitely sniffing around Red Bull with an idea of buying the team.
What makes him the right pick? And more importantly, what can we expect from him for his first Formula One race?
Well, I think obviously the licensing issue is always a challenge in Formula One for anyone who's parachuted in at late notice. And in terms of what we can expect, I think it's difficult to jump into a car. You know, you look at the history of the sport, and you think of Nigel Mansell, who came into Williams after Senna was killed, and he'd been racing Indy cars, but he won the Australian Grand Prix at the end of '94. You think of Pedro de la Rosa being parachuted in when Juan Pablo Montoya was injured at McLaren. He got a podium. So it happens. It can happen. Of course, Max Verstappen jumped into a Red Bull and won on debut last year. So, but it is very difficult to get into a car you're not familiar with without any testing and stick it on the limit. And so I think where he'll struggle will be in qualifying, because finding the limit of a Formula One car when you haven't driven a single-seater since 2012, and that was a GP2 car, is quite a challenge. It's going to be an interesting weekend, I think, with Brendon Hartley and that Toro Rosso.
Thank you, James.